done. On the field, I'm number one. Pressure. Down in the deep. Now I know y'all be loving this shit right here. Rolling. What you wanna do? Rolling.
Welcome to the Man United stream. Hope you're doing well, guys. We've got some bad news breaking. Bad news breaking concerning Patrick Dorgu. It was just literally, just as I was coming online, I was just getting ready to give you the latest transfer news, and I had to change everything because we've got some bad news. One of our best players this last couple of games has essentially been ruled out for... it's an hamstring injury. They're saying 10 weeks. It could be longer. It could be longer because that's the time it's going to take him to recover. But we've got to add on time for him to actually be reintegrated back to the team. It might have some complications. We might have some other issues. So by the time he actually gets back to fitness, could be a long time. I mean... it could be almost end of the season, almost, right? We've got Kuna who could jump in there and take over the reins. He's in good form, but man, why do United do not get the break that they need, man? We were just doing so well. I was talking about winning the league yesterday. I was there saying, look, we're going to win the league. This is it. This is our chance, and this is everything's going in our favour, and hopefully we can go and really kick on. But this breaking news, literally is hot off the press. I mean, I actually got the news even before it was put out to the mainstream media, even before Fabrizio Romano had the news. I had the news, but it just took me a bit of time to get everything up and, you know, get the thumbnail done and whatnot and get it ready. But yeah, the news is breaking. I can see now, I can see on my screen that Fabrizio Romano has also tweeted this as well, saying confirmation. Yeah, I mean, look, yeah, it's 10 weeks. He's put down 10 weeks as well. This is not good news, man. Not good news for a player that is absolutely smashing it for United right now. Obviously, his goals that he scored, the goal he scored against Arsenal, everyone was pissing their pants facing Dorgu. And now we're having to hear news that he's out for a minimum of 10 weeks. It's a hamstring injury. Anything can happen. It's a really complicated injury in terms of how the recovery takes place. Sometimes it's not straightforward. It's one of those injuries that you know immediately, as soon as the player goes down and holds his hamstring, that is not good. That is something you don't want to see. And remind me, guys, did he stay on the pitch once he got injured? Did he stay on after grabbing his hamstring? Let me know in the comments, because I can't remember, man. It just seems like a complete phase to me right now. Can't remember what actually happened in the game. But did he leave the pitch immediately? Because that's an important part of what we need to discuss today. Did he leave the pitch immediately? Does anyone remember watching the game? Because I was doing the watch along, and I must admit I was completely emotional at the time. So I was kind of celebrating the win and not really looking at. I did have this in the back of my mind, and yesterday I was thinking, oh, I hope it's not bad. I hope it's not bad. And I was thinking, oh, why haven't we had news on any scan, any injury? Because normally on Monday morning, you get that. You get the information out. Like, look, we've had the scan and it's not bad. In fact, actually, we heard from Carrick in the post-match, and he said, look, it's not as bad as first thought. So I thought, okay, it's not a hamstring injury. That's immediately when I got told that it's not as bad as it looks, I thought, right, it's not a bad injury, and it must be just a little pull here and there. You know, sometimes a player can feel like it's hamstring, but it could be something else, or, you know, they might be just conscious of it being a hamstring. And, you know, if you've ever suffered a hamstring injury, it's awful. It is awful. It's painful. You cannot do anything. I mean, it is difficult to do anything with your leg, depending on how bad it is. But it's a weird one, because outwardly you think, well, he's perfectly fine, but it's just not good, man. It's not good, and it does take a long time to recover, and it could get complicated for him. 10 weeks, man. 10 weeks. That's like, what? 3 months? We're talking about 3 months of not having him. The season's over, guys, for him. Let's be honest. The season is over for Dorgu. But my question is, this is why we need to go and sign some more players in the January transfer window. We've got a couple of days. Ineos, pull your bloody finger out. This is the problem. Because you don't know what might happen. You might get another injury in the coming weeks or months. You might get another injury from another player. But if you haven't got a like-for-like or a good enough player to come in, immediately you start panicking. And as a Man United fan base, we do. Because we know we haven't got the players that needed. We haven't got the players that we need. Now, Kuna's ready-made to step in. But of course, he doesn't offer us what Dorgu offers us, right? What he does, Dorgu's got the pace that scares defences. Kuna isn't that type of player. He is a bit more of a technical player, someone who uses his skill and his composure to get things done. Not the player that we would say is like-for-like replacement. Let me know in the comments if anyone saw the match and if he came off immediately after the injury, because that's important as well, because I really want to know whether he is someone who, if he played on it afterwards, if he got up and carried on playing, because that would have made the injury worse, in my opinion. Yes, there's question marks over whether we could bring back, I've just seen comment of Nish, get Rashford back ASAP. Look, do you know what? Last night, I was going to do a show on Rashford as well, talk about Rashford coming back. But the noises coming out of his camp, his brother, his agent, and a few others around him are saying that, look, Rashford has no interest of coming back to the UK, whether it's for Man United or anybody else. He just wants to put a line on that. He just wants to kind of carry on and move to the next chapter of his life. And he wants to put a line through his career at Manchester. Yes, yeah, his time was good. Obviously, Man United gave him the opportunity, blah, blah, blah. But he feels like coming back to United will be a step backwards for him. It's something that he's kind of moved forward from. Clearly, he didn't have a good time here for whatever reason. He wasn't happy at United. And I think it's very difficult to say, look, grab him and bring him back. I don't think that's probably that's not going to happen. And hence why United as well, Ineos will be looking to move forward, not backwards. So going to Rashford is, I think, going to be a massive desperation move. I don't think they'll do that, even though some fans might say, well, he's the perfect person to come in, player to come in and fit into that position. But Dorgu was giving us something so much more, man, because defensively, this guy is insane. Playing back as well, he could get the ball, bring it up, run through the pitch, run through with the ball. Oh, my God, man. Seriously, this is really, really bad news. Bad news for United and our chances of maybe, and I was saying, I was being serious, challenging for the league. Because do not know what will happen in the remaining time of this season. You don't know what's going to happen with Arsenal. You don't know what's going to happen with Man City. This season has brought so many surprises. And this is, I hate it, man. I hate it because I was genuinely thinking this is one time where I'm looking at the game now and thinking, actually, United, they've put out the same team back-to-back games. We're getting a familiar team here. We're getting players that are gelling together. They know what they're doing. And yeah, I just didn't want any major changes to take place. And this one really is a kick in the balls, isn't it? Kick in the gut, whatever you want to call it. It's not good, man. But this season, I've really felt like anything can happen. We can go with our team. If we're playing well, we can challenge. We can challenge for the league. I swear. After the Arsenal game, I started believing it more and more. And I thought, if we can produce that kind of performance week in, week out and go on a win streak, we can seriously do some damage to the 2-3 teams above us because they're not playing well. Man City are not consistent. They're not the Man City of old. Pep is not that manager anymore. And we've got Arteta and his boys, and we all know what they're like. They bottle it. They're bottle jobs. We've seen it season upon season upon season. When it comes to this final third of the Premier League season, these guys are flappers. They flap it. They bottle it, man. They bottle it, and they will do the same right now. You can see the team's going to start crumbling around them. And we had a perfect opportunity to go and actually kick on with this. But yeah, this is not good news, man. Let me bring it up for you anyway. If you're doubting what I'm saying, you might be saying, what's Travis on about? No, surely not. But this is breaking news. It's come out now. Look, Patrick Dorgu is set to be out for 10 weeks after scans revealed a hamstring injury, and that's from Laurie Whitwell as well. It came out, man. Everyone's just piled in there. I mean, everyone started releasing the news about as I was coming on. But yeah, I got a text just before saying, look, news coming out. Dorgu is injured, out for months. It didn't say 10 weeks. It just said out for months. I was like, oh no, man. Oh no. No, man. No. Just when we were just looking like we were gathering pace and momentum, we were going in for the kill, and we've just been held back. We've been held back, man. And this is why you need a squad. You need a squad to actually start cooking. You can't just rely on the players that you've got. It's really difficult to just simply hope that you're not going to get any injuries. But it's the name of the game, isn't it? It's the name of the game. You don't know what will happen, how will the season pan out, and what players. I just, like I say, I hope that we can keep the rest of the squad intact. We don't need to worry about anybody else. Kuna needs to stay as that super sunshine. He's always scores off the bench. Yeah, man, I was liking that role as well. I was liking the coming off the bench role for Kuna. I think he does well. I think he comes on, he brings in the energy, and it was working for us. And now, and then the other thing that you've got when you look over at the bench and you've got the strong options of Kuna, Mount there, and others, you start thinking, yeah, okay, look, we've got some game changers sat on the bench as well. So we're not worried. We're not worried when one or two players on the first 11 have a bit of a shit game, because okay, not to worry. And I think it even puts pressure on the players who are starting the game, because even they know that, okay, look, I need to have a good game, because if I don't, they're looking over their shoulders. They know that, look, the manager might replace me. So I need to have a good game. And so, yeah, I bet it's even more than 10 weeks. Look, if I'm guessing at these kind of injuries, I would say it's unfortunately more than 10 weeks. Yeah, I'd say if we're lucky, if he's young, he's strong, we know that. His injury record isn't bad. I had a quick look at it before, and his injury record's not bad. He's not been injured at United, I think, for any major injury, and I can't see any injury that he struggled with. Look, for me, it's going to take about 12 weeks for him to recover. And then after that, we've got the problem of him being reintegrated back into the team. We know that in the modern football, players are not reintegrated back immediately, unless you're bloody Bruno Fernandes, who is, one of those players who's ready to go again. Dorgu might take a bit long. It might take a bit longer to come back and get fully fit, because he puts in the mileage. There's two types of players. There's those who are powerful running type players who use all their energy, all their resources, all the muscles available to them to make that run. And then there's players who don't necessarily do that. Like Bruno Fernandes, Kuna's, they're not muscular players. So they're not reliant on their muscles to get the job done. So they're very technical players. Dorgu needs that burst of pace. He needs to use all his muscles available. So, yes, he's not someone who's going to be like, right, okay, I'm ready to come back again. I'm fit. The hamstring's loose or whatever, and it's all good now. without Dorgu, forget top 4. Yeah, man, it is no. I'm not gonna accept that. I think we're still in the top 4. I really do. I believe that Kuna is still a good enough player to come in and do a job and deputise. It's crazy, isn't it? It's crazy that we're saying this because. A couple of games ago, we wouldn't even think of Dorgu being that important to the team, and Kuna would be starting ahead of him. And if you ask someone a couple of games ago, like say whilst Ruben Amorim was here, and we're saying, "Oh, who would you start, Kuna or Dorgu?" Look, let's be honest, all of us would have said Kuna. But what we've seen in this new signing, essentially, I think Luman Dorgu got jinxed by your mod. Well, he got jinxed by me. I must admit. I take all blame for it, guys. I take all blame for it. I put my hands up. I'm to blame because yesterday I was absolutely waxing lyrical about Dorgu. I was tweeting about him, putting out the Dorguinho image and everything, and just saying, this guy's like our new signing and he's going to be brilliant. And then I've jinxed it. I've jinxed him, man. I must have. I shouldn't have got carried away. But it's hard not to. It's hard not to when you look at the player and you think, wow, the finish, everything he did against Arsenal. They didn't know what to do with him. But yeah, look, we've still got options. I still think we need to remain positive, remain grounded. We've still got options. We've still got Kuna, of course, who can come in. We've got options to switch things around. I'm not totally worried, but I'm just upset that, look, this is, things were going in the right direction. And it almost looked like we were getting positive news after positive news. We were getting news of Cole Palmer last night that he wants Man United and not Man City. And I was thinking, wow, this is brilliant. This week is turning out to be a very good week. And we still got to remain positive. We've still got to take the positives out of this week rather than look at the negatives. Yes, of course, this is a setback and it's not news what we wanted to hear this morning. But we are getting positive results. We've got a manager who knows how to react to these kind of things. We've got a manager who we can trust in and trust in doing the right thing. Portuguese players seem to be get less injuries. Yeah, look, actually, that might be true. Well, if you're saying we're talking about Bruno Fernandes and Dalot here, right? I love Dorguinho sign. Yeah, man, I was loving it, man. I was loving that. I was loving the whole Dorguinho thing and everything. But look, it's sod's law in it. Look, we knew he was in danger of being out for some time. During the game, when a player grabs their hamstring, it's never a good sign. And immediately I was like, nah, that's a hamstring. That's a hamstring because. The way he clutched it, he went straight for his hamstring. It wasn't like, oh, I'm touching my leg generally, and then that run. That's typical of how you suffer a hamstring injury. If you've played football, you know what I'm talking about. It's the acceleration that he puts into it. He steps on that foot and he needs to go for it. So he runs at almost full tilt. And you could just know that is. I watched the slow motion of it, and I was like, "Shit, that looks like the hamstring's gone." And then immediately, as he falls down, he takes his right hand and clutches his hamstring, and I was like, "Oh shit, no way!" But then he he lets go and gets up, and then I can't remember what happens after that, but. I can't remember whether he carries on. Does anyone know? I've asked the question. Does anyone know what happened after his injury? Does he go off immediately or does he carry on? Because I feel like he carried on. I think he carried on and played. He carried on playing football and then got subbed off. Or was it an immediate substitution? I really want to know that because I would have made a big fuss about it if he went off immediately. So I think he got up and started playing again, and we all thought, nah, it's not hamstring, and he's fine. And he carried on playing, but that just shows he's a young player, probably didn't understand fully that his hamstring is injured. He might have just not felt it fully. He might have thought, right, I've pulled it slightly, but I can run it off. But you can't run off hamstrings, man. You cannot do that. So the problem with it is that it could have made it worse. That's where I'm now concentrating my efforts on. I'm thinking, shit, should the management have and the coaches have recognised that and took him off immediately? Why did they allow him to play on? Because that would have made it worse. So yeah, bad news, guys. But look, we've got to look at the positive. We have got Kuna there who can step in and play that role. It would have been a lot worse. It would have been a lot worse if we had someone we didn't have someone to replace him. That is why I keep saying that we need to go out there and put all our efforts in to getting a better squad of players. Do not see this January transfer window as, oh, it's fine, we go again in the summer. We don't need to do anything right now. That's why I've always said, look, no, you take opportunity of these windows. They're there for a reason. They're there to strengthen your squad, give you a bit of boost when you most need it. And I still feel like we've got a couple of days left, and I really hope that Ineos and the management behind closed doors are working towards bringing somebody else in, some loan move. We need another left back anyway. I don't know what's going on. Because look, Luke Shaw, imagine if Luke Shaw gets injured now. Where are we? Where are we? Who else can play that position? Right? That's why, look, for me, that's why we need to go and get more signings in, get some transfers in. Don't just rest on your laurels and think, oh, we're all right. We've got a big boost from Carrick coming in and we're doing pretty well. We've just won Man City and Arsenal and we're in the positions we need to be. But I'm thinking, no, you do what a good football club should be doing, which is waiting to see if, or predicting that there could be a slip up from Man City and Arsenal, and you should be there, ready, waiting to take advantage of any slip up. So that's what I want to be. I want to be just behind Arsenal and City, just ready to pounce. If anything goes wrong, we're there to take over. I swear we'll regret it if we're like 6 points away and Arsenal or City lose and they win the league by 3 points and we're 3 points away from top position, right? That is my issue here. I feel like we're so close to actually making sure that we're there. We're ready to take advantage if one of these teams slips up. Man City are not far away from us. Arsenal are gonna bottle it. They will bottle it. There will be a time where they're gonna start feeling the pressure of going and winning the league, and it could be after this defeat against United. We'll all be watching against Leeds, Arsenal against Leeds. That's going to be a massive game. We've got some easy games coming up. This morning I was planning to do an actual update show on transfers and what's going on. I had some news on Anderson and I had some news on Baleba, but that's going to have to wait now. I'm going to have to do another show on that. I might just do a recording and put the video out later on. But that's it, guys. That's it for today's morning breaking news. Unfortunately, it's not good news, but we kick on, we go again, and hopefully we can see this one through. Make sure you hit the like. Make sure you subscribe. You're watching the Man Utd Stream channel, a channel by the fans, for the fans. Goodbye.